Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. A Muslim preacher, a Muslim imam in Florida, the United States, has gone viral recently over on X for preaching about taking over Christian churches in the US. And he wants Allah to give victory to Islam in the country of America. Now, for my American audience members, I know how you guys feel about Islam in your country, just as much as I know about how many Australians feel about Islam in this country of Australia. Personally, I do not think that Islam is a net positive to a Western civilization. I think it is indeed a net negative. Now, what I've been seeing of late is that Muslims are now saying and blaming the Jews for certain attacks that are going on in the world or certain attacks in the past. You have these Muslim leaders that are not blaming their religion. Why in the world would they do that? Because we already know that it's quite a hateful religion. It is a death cult. I've said that many times. Why in the world would they actually admit that their religion is in fact a problem? No, they've got to blame the Jews. They've got to blame Israel and say that it's all the fault of the Jews. Have you seen anything so outrageous in your life? To hear that kind of stuff, honestly, it annoys the hell out of me because the truth is not being seen enough. We need the truth to be heard and to be seen loud and clear, because these people are getting up on pulpits all around the world and saying nonsense like this. I made a video the other day about a imam in Australia, Sydney, saying that if you blaspheme their prophet, Muhammad, or if you talk negatively about Muhammad in any kind of way, you're going to be met with men that love the end of their life more than you, me, love life itself. Now, what does that tell you? That tells me that you have a lot of people that are listening to someone like that and agreeing with him. How dare you say anything negative about our prophet Muhammad? How dare you do anything like that, even though he was an R-wordist who married a 6-year-old and then R-worded her when she was 9 years old. And then also what the Quran says, we can spend an entire video talking about passages of the Quran that actually most people need to know about. The very fact that the Quran tells you everything you need to know about the religion itself and how dangerous it actually is, how it instructs Muslims to not take friends, but to kill infidels, me, white people, Christians. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't see the Bible or any Jews doing that. Why is it that the Quran says that? Why is it the Hadith says that? Why is it that Muhammad instructs all of his followers to take over the Western world, to spread Islam all over the Western world? Why is it that you have Muslims that are leaving the Islamic Republic countries and moving to Christian countries and then taking over, instilling Sharia? And this imam in Florida is proving what everyone knows to be true. It's happening in the UK. He's going, we convert 3 churches into mosques and are looking for more. One day, Florida will become Muslim. May Allah give victory to Islam in this country. Have a watch of this.
We are buying these churches. We bought 3 churches so far, converted them to masjids, and now we have 1 we are buying with a school to make it, because we have to serve the same people. The people who were part of that community, one day they will be Muslims. So we'll make it into a masjid and an Islamic school for our children and their children, inshallah. 100 years ago, they invaded the Muslim world and they built missionary schools and destroyed Islamic schools and masjids. Today, we bring the favor back, turn their churches into masjids and their schools into Islamic schools. Bring the light of Islam to here. We're able to buy ready to go institutions that have been there for a long time, but they emptied out. And now it is time to be filled with Muslims, with reverts, converts. This is an election year, but we're not going to be happy with either candidate. We have to be happy when Islam becomes the best candidate for us. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give Islam the victory in this country.
Yeah, sure. Let's buy these churches. And what church would allow Muslims to actually buy their church? And what is Governor DeSantis doing about this, I wonder, who claims to be a Christian, allowing Muslims to really infest Florida? Yeah, good luck with that. And then also we're going to build schools to teach Islam to little kids. That's the last thing that we need, because we've got kids being forced already in the Western world in schools to learn about Islam, to wear hijabs, and also to pray to a false god. Allah is not the God of the Bible, I'll have you know. And by the way, Ishmael and Hagar, they prayed to actually God, not Satan, I'll have you know. When did it change? I'm not sure. Probably when they started to get really radical and really violent. I don't know. I couldn't tell you when it all changed, but it did. And they went against Christians. We had the Crusades, man. I think people should learn their history. It was a very bloody and a very violent history against Christians and Muslims. And also, the Muslims attacked and annihilated many Arabic people that didn't want to convert to Islam. Just thought you guys should know that, because guess what? It hasn't changed. What they want hasn't changed. If they got their way, then guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It would be just like the Crusades. Just like the Crusades. In fact, it would probably be worse if they had their way. Mark my words. If we didn't stand up, if we didn't have laws in these countries, Western countries, and by the way, at the moment, you got leaders, and that's why it's so important who you elect. I'll have you know, because if you elect the wrong person, you could end up in a lot of trouble, because they're making laws to protect Muslims. In Australia, they want blasphemy laws, meaning that if I was to say anything negative about the religion of Islam, I could be locked up for 5 years. God forbid. They're protecting Islam, protecting Muslims. But if a Muslim wants to say something negative about Christians and God, oh, that's fine. By all means, go for it. But do not touch Muhammad. Muhammad is sacred, apparently. Allah is sacred. See the double standard? So this Muslim man, this Muslim preacher, is quite happy about converting 3 churches into mosques, and he wants to do more. He wants to teach young kids about Islam, indoctrinate young kids with lies. Sure, that's the way to go about things. Homebred, homegrown, T-word individuals. That's exactly what America wants, right? So it's what's happening in the UK. It's what's happening in Australia. When are people going to wake up and realize that you can't coexist with this sort of stuff? They're telling you right to your face. We want this. We're going to take over this. No, you're not. James Lindsay goes, woke right. Meanwhile, need you to blame the Jews and not look at this. Because the woke right, I've been seeing, and quite a few Muslims that would have seen what the woke right are saying now, those bad faith individuals over there, and they're now using it. Like I mentioned a moment ago. They're using it as their propaganda arm. Sure, we don't want you to look at what this imam is saying. Sure, we don't want you to look at what that imam in Sydney was saying either. We don't want you to see anything of the sort. Gad Sad goes thoughts, tags Ron DeSantis and Dave Rubin. Gee, I wonder. I really do wonder. Stop forcing Christian kids or churches or anything that is Christian to convert to Islam. Stop. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care. You be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.